Hey guys, what's up? It's Jay back with another build of the day. We're on day 5, I believe. And today's episode was, quite frankly, a little miserable to work on. Oh my god. Yeah. I was kind of inspired by the Skycrane thing I built for the Mun habitat, so I figured I would look into building a similar kind of thing, but on a smaller scale. Just mess around with the robotics a bit more this time around. So I came up with a kind of ore rover, kind of like a mining type thing for scouting for rich ore deposits as a payload. But really what I worked on heavily was the design of the actual delivery system, which ended up having something like 12 engines and 8 arms and all sorts of but you can see it there. The those arms they fold in nicely into that 1.25 meter form factor, so it packs up nicely. Obviously, if I had made it a longer, I could make it even wider and more stable. But it works. It's a decent little design. Except for it's a little unstable once it's landed and you mess around with things like loading in and all that. But that's just shenanigans of KSP. It ends up dying, unfortunately. When I was loading back into the scene at one point, it popped up off the ground and slammed on. And yeah, so that's unfortunate, but the idea was to have it so I could refuel it from the ground. It has side-mounted docking ports, all that. And I realize I'm not actually showing all that much off. I figured I'd try cutting out the actual build portion, because a lot of it was just fiddling with the robotics and just getting like the design curves. Like the actual building process maybe took me like 5-10 minutes to put it together to the way I wanted, and then the rest was just messing around with the animation keyframes and all that. But yeah, it worked out surprisingly well. It's got that kind of mode there, and then there was another mode that I'd programmed into it where it could just pop the engines out but keep the facing upwards. The idea being is that you could refuel it on the surface once I get some more mining stuff set up, and then send it up into orbit and connect it with a larger tank or something, or possibly use it as a tug. I don't know. It was just the idea. But yeah, decent little vehicle. Unfortunately, and I didn't realize this, I didn't actually have direct connection to the KSC at the time, so I'm doing this with the limited probe control. Now, for those of you who don't know how limited control works in KSP, basically it's like you can only do certain actions, and you don't have fine control of throttle or pitch or anything. You can still set SAS modes and all that, but yeah, you're pretty much just you're winging it. And that kind of prompted a part B to this. Originally there was going to be 3 parts. I was going to do this, the part B, which kind of evolved after the fact. I thought I had set it up where control wasn't an issue. This is a sandbox game, of course, but yeah, basically, so part B, I just put together a quick little satellite and put it in orbit to fix this problem, so that I'd be able to mess around with control of the rover, because I found out after the fact, after landing all this, that I wouldn't have control of it. And I would drop it off right there, boom boom, it makes contact, and we land this. Yeah, I think next time I'm going to figure out how to put I'm probably going to reduce this to 4 engines, and then put 4 landing things. Anyway, so here's our satellite that we're going to put in orbit of the Mun. It's, it's not all that complicated, just some solar panels, a relay antenna, and a direct antenna. And we throw that up into about 100,000 kilometer orbit, I believe. Yes? No, not 100,000. Yeah. I don't know. Lots. And that solves our connection issue. Still, though, it's kind of annoying. I'm thinking tomorrow I'm going to do the rest of what was planned. The original plan was to put the rover down as well as an Ursu kind of stack in the similar kind of design idea as the Hab module, as well as a tanker to run around and all that, and a mining rover. I think I'm just gonna do an Ursu stack with a mining thing and the tanker. That's gonna be the projects for tomorrow and possibly the day after, depending on how long it takes. There's just a lot of weird technical issues and shenanigans and dealing with the robotics and how they mess with the rockets and all that. But you know, eventually I worked things out, sorta. This took a lot longer than I would have liked, so there's a lot less here than I had originally planned for today. But yeah, so we have our little rover here. It's got a surface scanner as well as some other basic science stuff on it, and the scanning arm. I plan at some point in the near future taking that out for a spin, because I haven't yet, and I think there's Mun rocks that you can use it on, but I'm not 100% sure. I have to double check. But yeah, so unfortunately today's episode was a bit of a wash in comparison to the previous ones, but at least I got something done. It was mainly just troubleshooting various KSP shenanigans. Also, the other thing is that this rover turned out to be a lot bigger than I expected it. Like, compare that to the Hab module in terms of size, and it's like, holy crap. Unfortunately, there's no seats on it. But yeah, that's pretty much it, and I'll see you guys next time, and you know, don't forget to like and subscribe, all that, and have a great day.